When it comes to Capcom re-releasing Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, and Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, respectively. So it's not as dire of a situation as I thought it to be. These games are going to be upgraded to you for free, even if you have a physical edition. But it sounds like you guys might have a little bit of tripwire there when it comes to the physical editions of these games. But then again, digital is just the new wave. It's just how it's going to go from now on. There's no reason to buy physical copies unless you want to jump through hoops and have to re-download the disc to your console over and over again. I get it, owning physical media is it's nice in thought, in concept, but these days they don't even provide an interesting package. At least interesting enough to keep it on my shelf, interesting enough to open it up and look at it and actually get involved. Like back in the day when Manhunt came out. I consider that to be one of the best booklets of all time. And of course people enjoyed their collector's editions of Halo and whatnot. I mean, I understand all that, but physical media to me is done. And looking at Resident Evil as a whole and Capcom and everything that encompasses that, I see no real problem here other than this. If anyone in the audience is confused and pays for these games when they already own them, well, you're seriously funding greed at that point. I gotta say, the Resident Evil community needs to wake up, because we're going to get Resident Evil 9 down the road. You wait, you'll see. And we'll see what it is when it comes, but I can guarantee that down this road, it is mostly a trail of infinite darkness. Now, when it gets down to it, Resident Evil wasn't that bad when it came to Resident Evil 2, but Resident Evil 3 is a stump in a stone fire. This is one of those games that really just missed the mark, and people wanted a director's cut. But if you want a director's cut, adding more content to the game doesn't make it better. It just makes it more of a grueling experience, because they got it wrong. They just flat out got Resident Evil 3 wrong. Nemesis back in the day gave me anxiety, but now I can defeat him with a singular grenade, and it's really, at this point, an old functioning game to me. Dodging out of the way is seamlessly easy as fuck, and every time I do it, I don't feel satisfaction. I feel like I'm playing an arcade game. And although, maybe that's everyone else's satisfying experience, I want a wholehearted, full-fledged Resident Evil. If we go back to the Outbreak era, I'd love that, but truth be told, I'm not sure we're gonna go down that road. Where the hell is RE-verse? What is happening with any DLC when it comes to Resident Evil Village? Who knows, and who cares, but the next thing that's happening are these upgrade patches for Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, and Resident Evil 7. Of course, the remakes, I mean. Or is it reimaginings? Either way, the truth is, folks, you gotta wake up, smell that damn coffee, because Capcom is already on a new trail to fund trash, okay? Exo, Dino, whatever the hell it is. Flush it down the toilet, Capcom.
You're done.
I don't give two flying turds about that dinosaur crap. I wanted to see Regina back in action, Dino Crisis style. Upgradable weapons, upgradable stats, maybe, hell. Who knows what we could throw in there? Maybe some big milkers, because that's what the audience is like anymore. Shit, where's the DLC for Resident Evil Village, where you're the tall woman walking around with those jiggly physics right in front of your face? That's really what the fans are thirsting for, is it not? Well, either way, I can tell you this, these new upgrades, it might improve it a little bit of zest on top, a little bit of salt on terrible old noodles, it helps. But my god, those are some crusty-ass noodles. I mean, at this point, these are games that I still play a little bit, like Resident Evil 2, for example. I've been hopping back in. I want to see what the body physics do, because, quite frankly, they have downgraded Resident Evil 2 to Resident Evil 3. We talked about that in my lengthy review, but I'm just gonna break it down again. It's like the limbs don't fall off, they don't fly off anymore. It's like you can't blast heads off, even with a shotgun at point blank. In Resident Evil 2, you could literally blow a zombie in half and it'd crawl around with his guts on the floor. I don't know why Resident Evil 3 was so fucking terrible. I know it was the C team or whatever, but my god, it's like you literally could copy and paste. Now, I've seen some little Redditors out there saying,
Oh my god, Jesus, Lord have mercy on my soul there, partner. I love that the environment is more detailed.
I don't see fucking detail in the environment. You kind of just walk through. You just move forward and shoot. That's what Resident Evil 3 was. Resident Evil 2, it actually felt like it had grit. And thank goodness you could turn on the old music, because that soundtrack does not pump. It doesn't feel like anything Resident Evil should be, but thankfully turning on the background music from the original game does it justice, and it's good enough. I have changed my mind on Resident Evil 2, and I must suggest if anyone is thinking about purchasing this game, again, for no reason, please, check out the screws in your head. Are they loose? Tighten them up, baby. We need to wake up, smell the coffee, because it is time for Capcom to move on to the next material so we can move on from that. Until next time, folks, ta-ta.
Thank you.